good afternoon to one and all. This is K. Pushpa Rani, Associate Professor, Department of CSC, MLR Institute of Technology. So, in the last video, we already discussed about PCNF. What is PCNF? How to construct PCNF for the given statement formula. So, there are two methods to find the PCNF. One is a truth table method. With the help of connectives, we can constructing or we can find out the PCNF. Method 2, we need to apply the laws. In the last video, we already discussed about the truth table. But in this video, we are going to construct the PCNF with the help of method 2. That means we need to apply the laws. Okay, applying the laws. Before applying the laws, what are the conditions we are going to follow? Let us discuss all those things, and we can understand by taking some examples, and also we are also going to discuss about the differences between PCNF and PDNF. And it is a very important for exam point of view, principal concept to normal form and principal descent to normal form. So, in the case of before constructing principal concept to normal form and principal using method 2, what are the rules we need to follow? First rule is remove conditional as well as biconditional statements in the given statement formula. How to remove conditional as well as biconditional statement? By applying the equivalent laws. If it is a conditional statement, that is replaced by negation P or Q. Like that we need to replace. If it is a biconditional statement, we need to remove the biconditional and conditional statement by applying equivalent connectives like negation, conjunction as well as disjunction. Second one is so if any max term leads to negate contradiction, that is nothing but a false, then we need to drop those max terms. If any max terms leads to false value or it is a contradiction, we need to drop those max terms. And all the max terms must be unique, but that means no duplicates. If any max terms are repeated more than once, then you have to drop those max terms. That is, according to max terms must be unique. And the fourth one is apply the distributive law as well as De Morgan's law to get the required format of PCNF. We need to follow these rules to construct the PCNF. Rule 1 is apply conditional as well as biconditional statement to get the required format of PCNF. Second one is any max term leads to contradiction, we need to drop those max terms. But in the case of PDNF, we have to concentrate on the contradiction. But in the case of we are going to concentrate on the tautology. Any max terms leads to tautology, we need to remove those max terms. And third one is max terms must be unique. That means if any max term is to be repeated, we can drop those max terms. Write only once. Instead of writing more than once, you can write only once. And the fourth rule is apply distributive laws as well as De Morgan's law to get the required format of PCNF. So, we can understand with the help of some examples how to construct PCNF without constructing the truth table. Obtain principal concept to normal form for this statement. In examination, if nothing is specified, you can follow either method 1 or it is a method 2. You can construct truth table or it is by applying laws. Suppose if anything is specified, in the examination they are going to specify apply principal concept to normal form for the statement without constructing truth table. Suppose if this term is mentioned in the question paper, don't construct the truth table, you lose your marks. So, we need to follow or construct the principal concept to normal form by applying the laws only. Don't construct the truth table. If you construct the truth table, even though you are getting the correct answer, but examiner should not give the marks because they already specified without constructing the truth table. So, you need to apply the laws. According to the laws, you have to construct the required format of PCNF. What PCNF consisting of? Product of max terms. First, take the negation P implies or and Q implies Q. So, we need to give the first priority to the conditional as well as biconditional statement. Conditional and biconditional statement. So, P implies or. means negation P or R. So already negation is present. Negation becomes a negation P becomes P only, P or R. That is the first statement. And should be written as it is. Q by conditional P means Q implies P and P implies Q. Still there is a conditional statement. Still there is a conditional statement. We need to repeat step 1 until we need to remove the conditional as well as by conditional statement. P or R is written as it is. Again Q implies P will be replaced with negation Q or P. Again P implies Q is replaced with the negation P or Q and is present. So but still we need to, in the case of if there are 3 prepositions are present, every max term also consisting of a 3 preposition. To get the required format of PCNF, we need to add the missing terms if it is required. Because in the case of every statement consisting of only 2 prepositions, but the statement given statement consisting of 3 prepositions are there. So we need to convert the given max term also consisting of 3 prepositions. We need to add the max term without changing the meaning of the original statement. How to add the max term? P is there, or is there. What is the missing term here? Q is missing. How to add Q? P or negation Q or Q is written as a true. True or P is also P only, P or Q. Like that we need to add the missing term for the first one. Okay, add the first term. If you add the missing term, what are the preposition? P or Q is one term, and for the negation also we are going to get the second term. In the same way, apply the missing term for the second preposition. Negation Q or P is present. What is the missing term here? What is the missing term? P is present, Q is present, or is not there. Negation or. What is the term? Or is the term. So we need to add the missing term. These terms related to true. True or P is P only. So what is the missing term? So that is the or is the missing term. What are the prepositions we are going to get? P or negation Q, right as it is. One is negation or, another one is a. So add one more term, negation P, that is a P, or negation Q or. So it is already repeated in the first term. So don't write add the max term, only repeated. That's why we are going to write only once. So we are going to get the one preposition for the third term. What about the third one? Negation P or Q is present. What is the missing term? P is there, Q is there. What is the missing term? R is the missing term. Right? Or negation or. In between or is there. What are the factors? Negation P or Q or R. Negation P or Q or R. One more term, one more max term is negation P or Q or negation or. These are the required max terms. These max terms are combined using the symbol called product. Here there is a product is there. The product of max terms is the PCNF. Next, consider one more example to get the required format of PCNF. P or, then, so that is a P or negation P to Q or negation Q implies or. First we need to give the preference to the conditional as well as biconditional. If one or more conditional statements are present in the statement formula, then we need to give the priority to the innermost conditional statement. What is the innermost conditional statement? We need to remove the conditional statement, or otherwise you can apply repeatedly. So P or Q, here it is a negation, P or Q or negation is outside or. Okay, negation becomes P only, P or Q or. So what is negation Q or only. Next, so in the case of P or Q or R, Q or, that is it is written as a Q or Q is Q only. So it is repeated, we can write only once. Or. Again P or P. Then or Q or R. P or P is only once. You can write P or Q or. This is the sum of the variables are present, then it is a max term. If any statement formula consisting of a max term, then it is a PCNF. Then it is a PCNF. That is the second example. So to construct the PCNF. Then we need to understand the differences between PDNF as well as PCNF, because it is a very important for exam point of view. So first one is a PDNF. PDNF stands for Principal Descent to Normal Form. Second, coming to the PCNF, what is PCNF? PCNF stands for Principal Consecutive Normal Form. Now coming to the definition. Second difference is definition. A formula equivalent to the given formula consisting of disjunction of minterms only. So whereas PCNF consisting of conjunction of max terms only. That is the main important difference. Disjunction of minterms means it consisting of the P and Q, or P and negation Q. This is the disjunction of minterms. What about conjunction P or Q and P or negation Q? This is the max term. The conjunction of max terms are present in the PCNF. Disjunction of minterms are present in the PDNF. Any formula consisting of the disjunction of minterms only, then it is called as a principal descent to normal form. Any formula consisting of conjunction of max terms only, then it is called as a principal consecutive normal form. That is the difference. Coming to the next difference, it is also called as sum of product, because the sum is present between the product. That's why it is called as sum of product. Then product is present between the sum. That's why it is called as product of sum canonical form. I already told that if there are two variables, then 2 power n, that is a 2 square minterms are possible. If there are two variables, then there is a 2 power n, that is 2 square max terms are possible. What are the minterms? P and Q, P and negation Q, negation P and Q, negation P and negation Q. Next, whereas the coming to the PCNF, P or Q, P or negation Q, negation P or Q, negation P or negation Q. These are the PCNF. These are the product max terms. And coming to the next difference, if there are 3 variables are present in the statement formula, then 2 power 3 minterms are possible. P and Q and R. Here it is a P or Q R. Take the opposite. In the place of and, you take or. In the place of or, you take and. That is a 8 minterms are possible. Right? List out all the 8 minterms, 8 max terms. That is the fourth difference. These are the differences between PDNF and PCNF. So coming to the conclusion, so what we discussed in the case of normal forms, what is meant by normal form? What are the different classes of normal form? That is a descent to normal form and consecutive to normal form. Again, in the case of descent to normal form, PDNF. In the case of CNF, again there is a PCNF. For PDNF, there are 2 methods out there. One is a truth table, another one is by applying laws. Whereas in the case of PCNF also, again 2 methods are there. One is a truth table method, another one is by applying laws. So these are the methods we discussed in the case of normal form. So there are 2 methods. One is a truth table, another one is a applying laws. We need to construct the truth table. So after constructing the truth table, we need to verify. We need to take the false values. We need to take the true. In the case of PDNF, take true values. In the case of PDNF, we take the false values and construct the what are the max terms, what are the min terms. So these are the discussed, and also we discussed what are the differences between PCNF and PDNF. We can understand these normal forms by taking the examples of PCNF as well as PDNF. That is about the normal form. Thank you.